Oh, I meant to hit the. I meant to
do
do
the
thing.
You meant.
Well, it's good to be back. We're here. We're here. We don't know where Rob is. The doc has just vanished into thin air.
It's very concerning because you guys don't see this. This is what we see. And it looks like he might have been raptured. A ghost might have overtaken.
He was
canceled. So we'll stand by.
Which is all. So we want to talk about everything and dive into all the news about the NWA. But first, I guess I should say, what's up, you beautiful people? This is Gary Horn, and this is Pro Wrestling. You know what? Today, this is the NWA. That's what this is. Yeah,
that's right.
It's the podcast where we celebrate the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest pro wrestling entity of all time, the National Wrestling Alliance. It's so good to see you guys. Well, Will, I should have changed my background, but I'm still representing Joseph Hudson back here. Still got the Logan flag. Oh, that was a misstep. Anyway.
Canceled.
Anyway, yeah, canceled now. Thanks. All right. Anyway, I don't know where Rob is, and I wish he would show up. He was making ice cream. It sounded like in the back, and he was singing the lyrics to Frozen. So
very loudly. So
Will, it's good to see you. You were sick. You've been out with a stomach virus for days, and you made it back just for this special announcement today.
I did, and it's weird because literally I got hit with some kind of stomach virus that started. I was just telling you before we went on, like the moment that we signed off on Sunday night, I was up like all Sunday night. I was in the bed all day yesterday, all morning this morning. And then I slowly start getting better. This news comes out. I've been kind of keeping one eye on it from like resting. And like, it was to the point where it like hurt to look at my phone because my head was hurting so bad. But it's like, now I'm good. And it's like perfect timing. It's like from one stream to the other. And so now I'm here. I may not know every little detail, but I know the gist of everything that's going on. So if you want to just let everybody know in case the people that are watching don't know the big news about the NWA, and we can go from there.
All right. Well, that's a great place to start. And we promised exclusives on Twitter. You saw it. We do have an exclusive tidbit of news that you can only find here. Nobody else has picked up on this in reporting. And it's a big news item for our hashtag NWA fam. I think everybody that's a fan of NWA Power is going to dig this piece of news, but I'm going to save it until we get through the main bit of news, which is that the NWA, well, they're back, baby. The NWA is here. We got an official announcement today, courtesy of the Associated Press. Billy Corgan talked to everybody, and he let everyone know that the NWA is going to start back up, starting with a pay-per-view. NWA Back for the Attack, March 21st, 2021. It is going to be available live on pay-per-view and Fight TV. So you're going to be able to watch it there. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because also, courtesy of that release, they've made an exclusive deal with Fight TV. And we've heard rumors. You've heard the back and forth. Now we have official confirmation from the man himself, William Patrick Corgan. He's still doing a Smashing Pumpkins thing, but he was also still working on NWA stuff. A lot of you doubted. And this is the part where we say to that, ha 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 ha. But
if only there were three guys that all throughout the past year kept beating the same drum, then that is the NWA will be back. They'll be back. They'll be back. While everyone else said they're dead. Just face it. It's over.
We heard it. We heard it. Take your blinders off. They're not coming back. That was an exact quote, actually, in our Discord. Yeah. So that you've heard it, but today we found out our faith rang true. Everybody, the NWA is back March 21st. You can go ahead and watch it. Featured on that pay-per-view. They announced in the fight information they gave, NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis will be there. Tag team champion Aaron Stevens. So I would assume that both sides of the tag team champions, JR Kratos, would also be there. And the Pope, Elijah Burke, Trevor Murdoch, Tim Storm, Thunder Rosa, Camille. Surprised I didn't see Serena Deeb advertised, and she is the NWA Women's Champion. But I have to assume she's going to show up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's always card subject to change. We talk about that all the time, but we're still a couple of weeks out, so they might still be working through some things and some scheduling and stuff like that. But you got to imagine you're going to see the Burke in some form or fashion, even if it's a promo or something. It's got to enter the picture, enter the narrative of this Back for the Attack. So,
yeah. Now, we'll just skip through this news so we can get to the exclusive little tidbit that the nugget that our president, William Patrick Corgan, allowed us to reveal to all of you today. Thank you very much, Mr. Corgan. I know you're watching. You're always watching everything. We know. But anyway, before we get there, we do have some quotes from that Associated Press article. I did want to read this one. He said, "What I didn't anticipate was how much people would love the format," talking about Power here, "and want more of it and not less of it. In our downtime, we did a fan survey, and the number one thing was, don't get rid of Power." So I just thought that was very cool. I took part of that survey, and it's just neat to see that was one of the standout things. There was a lot of question during this downtime, like, oh, did they make any money? Or is the NWA, like, financially, how could they possibly survive? All of this stuff. And Corgan did clear some of that up in the AP as well, saying we were never in any financial peril. We were totally on a growth pattern. The plan for the last year before things kind of hit the skids was to start pivoting. We were in discussions with Live Nation about running live events to help bring in revenue and expand who was watching the product. It was more about growing pain stuff, but we didn't have any problems internally with the product. So that answered a lot of questions I think some people had during that time. The fight arrangement, they're also going to, they detailed that the pay-per-view is also going to be available by cable and satellite providers. There he is. Good Lord.
Oh, man. Oh, hey, I'm going to be in and out, man. My wife is out with Piper at her lesson, and Petra's still wide awake. She's pumped about the NWA news, too. So I'm probably going to be – hey, this is going to be a lesson in multitasking, guys. I'm going to cover this show with you guys, but I'm going to pop in and out. Just bear with me. Remember, the key to NWA fam is family first. So
that's right. That's right. There it is. Doc's on daddy duty right now.
I'm on daddy duty, but that's okay. That's okay.
The other news that's been released today is that, according to Wrestling Observer, they released this actually a little while back. They said that the new material that they're going to be taping for NWA Power is going to be taking place between March 21st and March 24th. I saw an Inside the Ropes article here saying that sources close to the situation indicated to them that this fight deal was the first of its kind for the streaming company, and they actually confirmed a rumor we had heard that this wasn't even the first company to offer a streaming deal to the NWA. This was just Fight was the better bidder, I guess. They've got a close relationship with Nick Aldis anyway, so that was probably part of it. But just so there were discussions going back and forth about this, like where they would end up. So no word, that I can see here on who the other bidders were, but just interesting piece of information here. Fight's chief operating officer, Mike Weber, is said to have issued an offer above and beyond the initial substantial offer, and NWA accepted this one. And so cool to see Fight TV going to bat for these guys. And let's see here. With regards to Back for the Attack, viewers in the UK can watch via Fight and also via Virgin Box Office. The show will start at 4 p.m. on March 21st. And let's see here. I'm just trying to get through all the news bits on this inside, the ropes thing. All of the episodes you've seen on YouTube. I'm trying to think if we hit on everything. YouTube, all the stuff was taken off there. The episodes of Power, according to everything I could find, are going to be going to Fight TV. I didn't see anything specific on 10 Pounds of Gold. So I feel like that question is going to come up. I'm not sure about that stuff. That may just go back to YouTube. No confirmation. Also, no confirmation on exactly the deal with pricing. They did say this is a part of a small streaming package deal that you're going to be, or subscription package, I should say. There were no specific prices given. We had heard a rumor, and since this Inside the Ropes article also references this, I'll just say it because they wrote it right here, that there is a rumor to be a deal for approximately $4.99 per month. So I don't, I said this in our Discord. Don't quote me on any of this. This is not even from me. But that's what this is saying. This Inside the Rope also, they went on to, illustrate just some of the changes that have happened in the NWA. Pat Kenny, who you may know as ECW's Simon Diamond, he's dealing directly with the talent. Billy Trask, who was the director on the last stuff, also doing stuff with UWN. And those folks, he's going to be handling editing and directing of the program. And it says here, while we're told Nick Aldis doesn't have an official backstage role, we're understood he is likely going to be involved in mentoring of talent and creative, as well as his on-screen role. So Nick Aldis, very heavily involved in here. All stuff that came out today. So as people roll in here, thank you guys, by the way, for everybody who's here and hanging out with us. 7:05. I mean, this is going to be, I think this is our thing now, guys. I mean, we had to pick up where we left off with Power coming back. It feels like we got to be the go-tos for this. You know what I miss about Power, though, fellas? What are the things? Like season 1. Do you remember season 1 of NWA Power? It was a special time. What's one of the first things you think of when you think of Power, and just like how you knew it was coming on? You get that countdown clock, and then all of a sudden you'd get that duh, duh, duh. You know what I'm saying? You'd hear that Dawkins hit, right? Right? You know where I'm going with this? We can tell you here today exclusively that we have confirmed, per William Patrick Corgan, all of the fans, you wanted it, Into the Fire is returning as the theme song for NWA Power. So
I didn't know this until just this moment. This is incredible.
You shouted it out, NWA fam, and they heard you. Into the Fire is coming back. So
wow.
Anyway, I just had to throw that out there. That's exciting news for me because, I mean, I love some Pantera, but that something about Into the Fire captured the heart of everyone, right?
Yeah, that was just definitively the theme song for Power. You can't replace that.
Yeah, so we want to thank Mr. Corgan for tossing us that little piece of information he allowed to just let us release here. So, Into the Fire!
Into the Fire!
Oh,
let's straight
the
up
whole thing right now. We can't.
Fun fact, if you sound too much like it, this video will get taken down off YouTube because I accidentally had that in the background of one of my videos and they said, nope. And I said, I get it. That's the NWA Power theme song. I get it.
Oh man, it happens to me all the time, man. When I'm back there doing them Broadways, I'm like,
they're like,
yeah,
copyright.
Nope, Rob, you sound exactly like Dawkins. Cut it out.
Dawkins Stinson.
I see what you did there, because
it's like right. Doctor,
yeah, that's good. Oh man, this is exciting. This is exciting news. So you got stuff you want to talk about in the chat. This is an open forum here. We're just hanging out now. We got all the heavy news out of the way. I tried to think if there was anything I didn't mention. I think in the AP article, by the way, they said the Corgan mentioned Aldis a good bit, and some of the stuff I saw, and then he said there was another quote from me here. This obviously the company's been down. He's helped keep the brand up in people's minds, and he's been a great friend in that way. And he said that The only thing they did confirm was Nick Aldis was competing on the pay-per-view. I mean, that's as much as we've gotten as far as a match card. But he also did say here that the pay-per-view is going to be dedicated to the memory of Joseph Josephus Hudson. So also that. And and the other piece of information that a lot of you folks are going to be asking, this was in the AP article. All events will be held without fans and without artificial crowd noise. That is in the AP article. So I kept seeing that question pop up. So that's seemingly confirmed here by the Associated Press as well. They called it giving it a more natural feel, like a UFC show. So anyway, so there you go. That's it. That's it. I'm newsed out. I think I've covered everything. What's on your mind? Well,
I mean, I'm just beyond stoked at this point. I mean, you know, when I first joined this this vehicle that we're on right here, and this is the NWA. I was just getting into Power, and I binged all the episodes on YouTube, and kind of got all in. And this event on March 21st will be the first live event for NWA that I haven't seen that I'll be watching live. So, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, yeah, I may have been on this show for a year, but I kind of came on after the Power tapings, the very last ones, and have just kind of been on this ride ever since. So I'm excited personally to be able to be a part of this kind of kickoff, this re-kickoff of the NWA and this partnership with Fight. And I'm still processing it, obviously, but you know, one thing I'm stoked about is that they're announcing it now, and there's not like a 6-month waiting period, right? I mean, we're talking like 2 weeks, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So,
right,
I mean, it's gaining momentum. We get to kind of build up for the next couple of weeks, and then we're off and running, which is going to be super awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'll just to address some stuff in the crowd there, Doc, we'll throw to you. But Damian Redmond here. I'm happy the NWA is back, but what talent is left? Well, we named some of them. You got Nick Aldis, the real world's heavyweight champion. Elijah Burks, the current TV champion. You got Trevor Murdoch, for God's sake, the national champion. You got the tag team champions, J.R. Kratos, Aaron Stevens. You got the women's champion, Serena Deeb, but also one of our personal favorites, frequent guest of the show, Thunder Rosa. I mean, she's half a card right there. Like, what else do you need? If you get Nick Aldis and Thunder Rosa on a show, then you got the best wrestling show in town. But who knows who else might show up? That's part of the beauty. I saw Sal Rinauro retweeting stuff, May Valentine retweeting stuff. There's those folks. I mean, there's all kinds of people out there. The world is their oyster right now. And of course, it's always worth mentioning the partnerships they've had with Ring of Honor in the past, the deals they've made with AEW. This is just exciting to me. I'm not even worried about a roster right now. I think that they're going to have a good time putting one together.
Well, and you have to remember, like I said, I kind of relived this whole journey over the past year. But I mean, when Billy Corgan's NWA launched, who was on their roster? Nick Aldis, Tim Storm. That was pretty much it, right?
Right.
And through Power, we were introduced to guys like Ricky Starks and Trevor Murdoch. We didn't know these people were on the roster. Like, we're looking at it from the lens of like WWE, AEW, who's on the roster. There is an infinite supply of incredible unsigned talent out there that will be in and out on NWA Power, and that's exactly the whole point, you know. So to me, that's not even a question.
Look at Sandoval in there. Just any doubters? I've been riding with Billy and the National Treasure since the start. Just hop on the train. It's going to be a wild ride. Trust the old Sandoval. Thanks for hanging out with us, Santa. And speaking of taking rides, Petra's taking a ride on the daddy's knee right there. And Petra, did you have any thoughts you wanted to add about the return of the NWA?
What you got to say about that? Her English is just coming in. She speaks fluent Mongrovian. So, but you know,
so that's what she was doing with her hand. She was like saluting the
Mongrovian. That's right. Yeah. I guess, man, I like the talk about you guys mentioned about the 6-month announcement. Man, we've been making this announcement for months out. We told you it was coming, and I don't want to get up here and gloat or anything like that for all those, but for all those out there in the world who doubted that this would ever happen and were saying this is going to, I want to say right now, you are forgiven. Now it is your obligation to come on the boat, join the hottest thing in the professional wrestling, the most important thing in the world of professional wrestling. I'm in the fire right now. I talk about into the fire. I'm in it right now, guys. With this junk.
she left that way and then came back in that way.
Yeah,
I thought he was saying that she just set the house on fire or
She's about
something.
to have another night cold.
I got a toddler. I feel you.
Yeah,
Man, I feel good. Into the Fire's coming back. Woo!
man. Yeah, that's cool. This was a major week. I mean, it was a tough week for the NWA, you know, with the loss of one of our beloved Josephus. But it was a very important week too, because several things happened of varying degrees of importance. But let's talk about the fact that the NWA regained world title status in Professional Wrestling Illustrated, the premier wrestling periodical. On top of that, we had the legislature of the state of Georgia acknowledge the importance and historic centrality of the NWA as a feature of professional wrestling in the state of Georgia by honoring it with NWA Day. And then we had this announcement that we all knew was coming. We all knew it was coming. It's not like that the champ Nick Aldis or Billy Corgan ever kept us in the dark. They told us the whole time it was coming. Just be loyal, stand fast. It's going to happen. And lo and behold, this is a fantastic week. Lots of great things. And now we're pleased that, earlier today we were conversing with the champ and he let it be known to us that he would like us to release the news about Into the Fire, a special privileged position that we got to have. And we're grateful for that. But guys, this is a great time to be #NWA fam. It is a great time. I'm thrilled. I couldn't be happier. My kids are happy. My wife's happy, man. My brethren are happy up here. Those two guys. And things are looking up, man. This is going to be a great month, and it's just getting started. And you're talking about roster? Guys, we've been preaching the whole time that the NWA is the great meta promotion. You never know who's going to show up. You've got the NWA talent. You've got guys like Tom Latimer and Nick Aldis and Camille and Thunder Rosa and so forth. But then you got the ones you're not expecting. Your Scott Steiners who may show up. Your Nikita Koloffs who may show up. You never know what's going to happen because the NWA always has been and always will be the most important, the singularly most important promotion in the history of this great sport, the greatest sport of all time. And I'm talking about the National Wrestling Alliance. NWA for life, Ezra Vickery. You're doggone right, baby. Doggone right.
We want to thank everybody who's joining us so far, just to throw that back out there. If you guys are new and this is your first time here, make sure you hit subscribe on this. We're going to be bringing you exclusives just like this all the time. We love talking NWA. That's our baby. The show used to be This is the NWA, that I didn't want to get sued by Billy. Not that he threatened, but could have probably. And so we ended up changing to This is Pro Wrestling, but NWA is going to always be our first love over here. And we're grateful to them, the champ, like Rob said, and then especially also William Patrick Corgan for giving us the opportunity to let you guys know, since they know how important it was to the NWA fam, the hashtag NWA fam, to go back to the Dawkins Into the Fire theme song. That's a very cool bit of news I think everybody's going to love. Let's see here. I did want to focus in, just if I could give him some airtime here for just 1 second. Where is it? Alliance Wrestling. Hi, Gary. First time, long time. Any word on NWA Shockwave, Circle Squared, or 10 pounds of gold? That's J Cal, for those of you who don't know, runs the Alliance blog and Alliance-wrestling.com. Hopefully I said that right, J Cal. But a very good site, has lots of great writing about the National Wrestling Alliance. They've been covering it since about 2007. So J Cal was back there in the old dance, as Rob would call him, Dan Severon days. And just with Adam Pearce, who you just saw wrestle on Monday Night Raw for like 3 seconds when he got rolled up. But, anyway, these guys, J Cal, I have not seen anything official about NWA Shockwave, 10 pounds of gold, or any of that. The only thing I could find exclusive to Fight was going to be the Power Show. So I don't know if that means that that other stuff is going to go over there too. I hope, my personal hope is that they keep 10 pounds of gold alive, and that it, maybe still appears as a YouTube show. I feel like that's a good spot for it. It gives you like that extra supplemental content, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think Shockwave was definitely a filler show. I mean, Power is going to be kind of the flagship weekly type show for the NWA. And I think Shockwave was kind of one of those things where, okay, we don't want to, because they were pretty public about it. We don't want to do Power without the fans at first. We want to keep that vibe. So I think Shockwave was a way to use some of these matches that they were able to produce in partnership with UWN and give those a platform to just kind of give people some NWA specific content. But I think all eyes are going to be on Power moving forward. I agree with you about 10 pounds of gold. I think that's such a good hook. I mean, it hooked me in when I first started looking into the NWA, and I think it's something that should continue, and hopefully with enough fan interest and as the fan base kind of filters back in and continues to grow after things kick off, I would hope that they would get back onto that one, because it's such a vital part of the NWA media collection, in my opinion.
I feel comfortable saying this just for all the new people that are in here. We're grateful for you again. We have a regular podcast you guys should check out, and just make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube video. We'd love to have you here on our regular chats. Obviously, Tuesday nights are going to be huge for us. Shout out to Todd Kenley, who was in the chat there. Thank you, Todd. He says, congrats, guys. Happy to see you fired up again. Yes, sir. You got to catch Todd. He's one of our favorite commentators. He's been on the show himself. He's working hard over for United Wrestling Network, doing stuff with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which you can also catch on Fight TV, and it's well worth your time. We're big fans of Todd Kenley for sure. What I was going to say before that was I feel comfortable. I just double checked. The NWA's shop is still closed down, so now's as good a time as any to hit up nwafam.com and /shop, and you can get you some sweet #NWA fam merch. And
that's right.
It's good stuff. Lots of good stuff over there. Right. Just anything you want, we got it. We got it covered. We'll design some awesome stuff: t-shirts, hoodies, hats, masks, all the stuff. Anyway, just wanted to selfishly plug that if I could. Also, join our Discord. Pinned tweet right now on our Twitter. You can join there. And we have a positive community over there. And we talk about wrestling, not just NWA, but a lot of NWA. Like it was pretty on fire today talking about this stuff. So we hope you guys will do that as well. All right. So what have we got here? We got Into the Fire's back as the theme song. Fight TV. Petra wild now. And
can you blame her? Can you blame her?
I'm like, when Tanya walks up in here in a minute, see, here's the thing, guys, and I don't mean, here's the thing, like Tuesday nights, we're going to have to rework this whole dance thing because we got Petra goes to Tiny Tots, and then Piper has classical and hip hop back to back. And so we jump, but my whole thing is like when Tanya walks up in here in a minute and sees I'm letting Petra run crazy, it's going to be, I'm going to have to fake it. I'm going to be like, hey, now I'm just watching the guys. I ain't even on the show. Y'all cover me, guys. I'm counting on you.
Yeah, we'll tell her. Just bring her in the room here, and we'll tell her live on the air.
We wish Rob was here all night.
Yeah.
Hey,
we'll just pretend like we haven't seen him.
She has gotten ice cream sandwich all over the beautiful studios of This Is the NWA.
Front Row says here, Doc, that you said there would be free This Is Pro Wrestling merch tonight in celebration of the return of Power. The good news, Front Row, I will say, is that the store is connected directly. I don't know if Tanya knows this either, but it's connected directly to Dr. Rob's PayPal account. So it's so he could technically just start sending it out. We could we should have had some like special promo code for today to get like 20% off or something, but we'll work on that.
I mean, I can do it right now.
Well, maybe we can do that.
What you want to do?
I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? You're the marketing expert.
We'll make up a special promo code. What we say, 25% off.
25 sounds good. I like 25.
25% off. All right, I'll set it up.
Look at that front row. You made it happen.
Stay tuned for the promo code.
Well, stay tuned for the promo code. Thank you guys again for being here. And let's see here. You know what I thought was crazy too, by the way? I wanted to point this out about their schedule is from the 21st to the 24th, it says. So if you look at that, the 21st, oh, I didn't even say the time really. It's 4 p.m. on the 21st, which is a weird time already for a pay-per-view. That's unique. That's something different that we're not used to seeing. But I think there may be a WWE pay-per-view that night as well. So you have like a whole day of wrestling there if you wanted it. WWE's an indie promotion. If you guys haven't heard of them, they're up and comers. So they're not like quite like the NWA, but they're working on it. They're building. And so anyway, they're filming from the 21st to the 24th. It says the first episode of NWA Power is going to air on the 23rd. So not only are they going to be like taping, they're actually just like in the middle of taping. They're going to be going ahead and starting the actual show, which is just pretty impressive. I don't know. Poor Billy Trask is going to be having a lot of work to get through.
Hey, just another thing. Don't forget while we're plugging merchandise. I know we talked about our store. The Real World Champions own line of nutritional supplements. I mean, you look at this guy, man, come on now. You got there's a couple people you want to emulate when it comes to physique in this business or in the NWA fam. You got the Doc, but more importantly, you got the Real World's champ. And Legacy Sports Nutrition is something that we've gotten great feedback on from a lot of people that we're familiar with. Derek Zoo, a lot of personal friends of mine. Gary himself uses this particular program. And if you go to legacysupps.com, the code NWA FAM will get you 10% off of your entire order. And you want to talk about something that's endorsed, run, operated, manipulated, controlled by the greatest wrestler on earth, the Real World's champ, the national treasure, the dealer, Nick Aldis, then you got to go to Legacy Sports Nutrition. Once again, that code NWA FAM gets you 10% off the entire order.
Yeah, I got to say, I mean, I'm taking some of this right now. This stuff is fantastic. Their Test X9 is great for like motivation, energy, and even get you a little more excited than you're used to when you're getting softer around the middle like I am. And, I had gotten to this place where my energy levels had just dropped completely, and this stuff is really boosting that up. Another one of their things that I really, really love over there that the champ's pushing right now is the Recovery PM, which I take every single night before I go to sleep, especially if you've been working out and, you start to feel kind of funky, or you're like, especially if you get a late workout in, you're kind of jacked up, you don't feel like laying down and going to sleep. This stuff is the best. You got to check it out. So those two I would definitely recommend, but there's a lot of good stuff over there. So yeah, code NWA FAM.
And he will actually customize a program for you too. I mean, it's really, really a good deal. And again, you take advantage of that access code. One night, I have to tell you, man, Gary called me and he was wired, boy. He was like pumped. He couldn't sleep. And I was like, what's going on? And then come to find out, I was looking in our private messages between us, and every now and again, the champ will chime in on it. Gary had taken something that he shouldn't have taken at nighttime. What was that you took? Remember that?
Oh yeah. It was X-Lean stuff. Yeah, it was that. Got my heart rate going.
He was like, "Hey man, let's go live right now. I'm calling Will." I was like, "Gary, it's 2 a.m., bro."
No, man, I'm ready. I'm gonna go run around the block. Oh man. Also, shout out James Lawrence in the chat here. If you're a fan of the NWA and you're on Facebook, join that 10 Pounds of Gold National Wrestling Alliance fan club. We always want to make this stuff's all going to be important now because the NWA is back. That's why we're here. The NWA, baby.
I'm so glad you're giving shout outs to all these people that have been keeping the spirit of the NWA alive during this whole time. It's been almost a year, guys. Almost a year since we had that last episode of Power. We went into Carney Land and then we, the things happened and whatnot, and we've kind of been laying dormant. The NWA has not been dormant. Don't get me wrong. You've had the national treasure out there defending the title. multiple times against quality opponents. You've had Thunder Rosa doing her thing. You've had, Camille has kept a presence up on social media. May Valentine has kept a presence up. Billy Corgan has thrown out reminders. Hey, we're still here. Bear with us. But then you've got the fan base, the base that rallied around this very important brand, this important entity. And I'm talking about NWA Gold. I'm talking about James Lawrence. I'm talking about Jay Cal and what he's doing over at Alliance Blog. And then, of course, your hashtag NWA fam. And then you got other guys that even are just really they feel a certain camaraderie with us. I mean, WWE Front Row is part of the NWA fam, but the brethren over at Nation Show, they are solid NWA fam. They love this promotion as much as anything else. They talk about it all the time. They're thrilled when something great happens. They're expecting the greatest things. Then you got guys over at UWN like Todd Kinley who's in the chat. We have Brian Solomon representing us over at PWI. The NWA fam, Ringside Rant, the NWA fam has been vibrant during this time. It's been, we've not been on the programming tempo that we'd like to. But again, they said, be patient. It's coming. It's coming. And when it comes, it's going to be worth the wait. So now, again, shout out to everybody who stayed with this and who kept the dream alive and kept the conversation alive. And, like I said, the NWA never goes dormant, ever. It's the NWA. It can't. It's like a night without stars. You can't have pro wrestling without the NWA. But for those of you who have been, standing fast, I see Sandoval. We've been to some shows with Sandoval in this, and we inevitably talk about what's going on with the champ, what's going on with the, when's Power coming and our speculations, this and that. But me and Gary and Will and Sandoval all came out to cheer on our champ, the national treasure, Nick Aldis, in Grimsley, Tennessee, with that title defense against Brian Pillman Jr. The NWA has been alive and well. It is alive and well. But guess what, homie? When it comes to active television and programming and whatnot, we're back.
I love Sandoval there.
Rob is hype, man. I love it.
He is. We're all excited, man.
Vintage Rob. That's vintage Rob. He's back.
Tuesday night's going to be packed with a lot of wrestling. That's right, Carl. I wanted to say to Phil Talks Sports, you mentioned up earlier, I didn't want to ignore that. He said, I think I saw Power will be on Thursday now, not Tuesday, but I could be wrong. According to that AP article, Phil, it does say in here that March 21st pay-per-view title back for the attack. They'll stream on Fight. The NWA will then resume its schedule of NWA Power each Tuesday at 6:05 starting on March 23rd, available on Fight for a low-cost subscription bundle. So it does specify in that Associated Press article that it is on Tuesday night still at 6:05, the time that everybody loves. I think I even saw it on Fight, if I'm not mistaken, too. So, yeah, it's going to be Tuesdays still. And we'll be here on Tuesdays still. So also excited about that. But I'm biased. Yeah, whatever.
And Jay Cal's pre-party will now once again be an actual pre-party. So make sure, starting at 5 p.m., 3 p.m. Pacific, start with Jay Cal, roll on to Power, and then finish off with us. It'll be Tuesday nights will be back to the way they're supposed to be.
Yeah, it'll feel like home again. Yeah, just I did want to say too, I liked this idea from where is it at? Hold on, I'm going to find it in the chat here. Bear with me one sec. I'm looking for it. I pulled it up, and I pulled it up before I was ready for it, but it was wow. This is exciting. Oh, here it is. Clip Miller says, "You guys going to try and guess the card for Back for the Attack?
Ooh.
You guys got any predictions? Any kind of thoughts on who you'd like to see, what you'd like to see happen in this show?"
Man, I've seen a couple theories out there. Then I have a theory that I'd like to throw out, and which I think would be awesome. Okay, I've seen the Jay Cal was talking about Carlito. Now remember, right before the shutdown, the champ was about to take the belt back to Puerto Rico for the first time in a minute and defend against Carlito. Because of the conditions of the world, that did not happen. That is a real possibility. I think that could happen. The other thing that intrigues me a lot is if you look, and I can't remember, let me see, let me pull up on my in my email box. I purchased something about a month or so ago, and it was a vintage poster of a dream match. And you guys might know what I'm talking about. It comes from, let's see, it comes from Dream Match Wrestling. And what they were selling was this amazing autograph print of Nick Aldis versus the Pope. The world TV champion versus the world's champion. That's something that would intrigue me right there. Right off the bat, something that immediately is going to catch everybody's attention. You've got two of the premier wrestlers in the world holding two of the most important trophies in wrestling. There's been some sort of not unofficial. It's not like it's been, anything that the NWA has formally put out, but this is something that both the Pope and Nick Aldis have collaborated on as far as this dream match autograph print goes. I'd love to see on that first episode for them to make that a reality and bring us the Pope versus Nick Aldis. I think that'd be pretty cool.
It's interesting. Like, when people were talking about the NWA before, when we were off during this time, a lot of people were disappointed. Of course, we didn't have any NWA content, but I always stuck by too that it was actually, if this had to happen, they did manage, along with the help of United Wrestling Network or NWA Shockwave later, that they did wrap up pretty much every outstanding storyline that there was available to wrap up, as far as like current feuds going on. Those guys got to have their matches. The only one I could think of right off the top of my head was probably I guess the Kingston and Pope thing didn't really happen. It looked like those two were getting ready to go head to head, which would have been fun to see, but obviously Kingston's moved on now. Same with one of my picks would have been a rematch for the tag titles to see Eli Drake and James Storm go back after him. But hey, maybe James Storm finds himself a new partner and goes back for those tag team titles. Or maybe we finally see the debut of the War Kings. And, we haven't seen them since NWA 70 or something like that. And so Crimson, Jack Stane taking on JR Kratos and Aaron Stevens. That'd be a fun tag match to have, I think.
Yeah. And but the Grimsley show before the one that we went to, Sandoval and I were at a previous one where Crimson was present. Crimson and Jack Stane were present at that. And this Joker is in shape, bro. He's ready to go. He looks like $1 million, looks like a Greek god. The other thing I was thinking is like, storylines were nicely tied up, but there's one storyline when you think about it. There's one storyline that I don't think you can ever really tie up in the NWA, at least the current iteration of it. And that one storyline that cannot be tied up is Nick Aldis and Tim Storm. Okay, now I know there's a stipulation, but the world's changed, bro. The world's changed, times have changed, and that's something that I think everybody, in the back of everybody's mind, when you're thinking about the great opponents, and even when we did the first episode of the House Call, rating the top 10 greatest title defenses, I rated number 1, Aldis versus Tim Storm on the first Power. What if at the return of Power, the first episode of the return of Power, and I'm just speculating, guys, we don't, the people that are power movers in the NWA, William Patrick Corgan and Nick Aldis and Thunder Rosa, they are kind to us, but we're not insiders. We're fans. There's still a veil there that exists. And, and we're not privy to everything. And I don't want to be privy to everything. Honestly, I want to be surprised and just like everybody else does, I'm privileged to have built relationships with them. And, I hope that lasts forever, but, there's part of me too that, hey, I don't have to know everything. I'm a fan and that's cool. What if the first episode back, the return of Power, we got Tim Storm versus Nick Aldis, or at the pay-per-view as the kickoff to the return of the Lightning One, tapings and production, we see Nick Aldis and Tim Storm. That would be pretty cool too.
No, Rob, I got to ask you, just as a man who is you're pretty dead set on Nick Aldis getting to his 1,000 days. Is Tim Storm really the first man you want him to step in the ring with after this hiatus, that he could potentially not ever reach that mark?
I know we got Sandoval in the chat. So let me draw an analogy here. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I'm NWA ride or die. I'm also Georgia Bulldogs ride or die, man. It does us no good for the Tennessee Vols to be terrible. It does us no good. For in the SEC East, you've got the power, the juggernaut that is the SEC West, and you just have to win that, and you could easily, that would be enough to be the national champion. It's not that way in the East anymore. Florida's not what it used to be. Tennessee's not what it used to be. And those three teams, Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida, are usually at the top of the pecking order. For us to be good and for us to get a real legitimate crack, you got to go through a good Tennessee team and a good Florida team. That's the only way. I'm going to tell you right now, it does nobody any favors for Nick Aldis to cherry pick opponents, which is why he never does it. Nick Aldis does not cherry pick any opponents. This is a fighting champion. Everybody that he faces has earned the right to get a shot, whether it's Nobi Bryant. Yeah, Nobi Bryant hasn't had a big contract, but ask J-Cal. Nobi Bryant's put his time in. This is a guy who could easily slip into any roster and be great. Mike Bennett, Brian Pillman Jr., wrestling royalty, Jason Strife, who I don't know about y'all guys. I saw the match in Omaha, Nebraska. That guy looked like he could take on anybody that night. But I'm going to tell you right now, Nick Aldis don't duck anybody. And for Nick Aldis, it's always in the back of my mind. If I'm really going to be the best, to quote one great champion that we all know, to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? And so that's what Nick Aldis does. He goes out and he beats the men all the time, which is why he is the man. I'm not afraid. Let's talk turkey here, okay? Let's talk turkey. The rain at some point will end. It's like what Rocky said to Adonis Creed. Look, man, I didn't beat Apollo. Tom beat Apollo. It's the only undefeated opponent. At some point, Tom's going to play a factor. But Nick Aldis is 34 years old. He is in his prime. He is the greatest wrestler alive, bar none. I don't care who you're talking about. I don't care if you're talking about Tim Storm, doggone the Pope. I don't care if you're talking about John Moxley, Reggie Ryan. What's the Roman Reigns? Whatever. I don't care who you're
Reggie Reigns. Yes, Reginald Reigns. That's him. Yes.
I don't care who you're talking about. Nick Aldis. I see you front row. The champion is defined by his challengers, and he takes on the greatest challengers. I see you. So does it, what I want to see is I want to see Tim Storm versus Aldis. I want to see Aldis versus, Mike Bennett. I want to see Aldis versus Marty Scurll. I want to see Aldis versus Trevor Murdoch. I want to see those premier matchups. That's what we're about. We're about prize fighting. If we're not about prize fighting, why are we here? There are a million other brands you can go to get something else. The NWA is about prize fighting, and nobody does it better than the champ. So bring it on.
Will, do you stand behind this?
Was it my turn?
Unless you don't want to. We can.
I want to see. I want to see. So I'm a storyline guy, right? So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, how do we piece this together? There's a stipulation out there from Power that Tim Storm can't challenge for the belt, right? But there's also an NWA stipulation that gives somebody an immediate title shot, which is what?
Well, technically there's two ways. I'm picking up what you're putting down. You could be the national champion, and that immediately makes you the number one contender, right? Or you could win the TV title and win 6 matches in a row.
I'm just saying. My eyeballs are going to be on Power no matter what. But if you really want to put eyeballs on the screen, you have Tim Storm show up, put him in the picture for either of those titles, and put it together to where he's in that picture and can gain that shot back.
Sorry, Screen Monkey. It was 7 defenses.
That's money for me. That's what I want to see.
Lucky 7.
So ultimately, we want the same finish. And I will say, as you guys probably know, I am so ready to see the tag team division in the National Wrestling Alliance go to the next level. And I know that was something that before the pandemic hit, we've been told from William Patrick Horgan himself and Carney Land Town Hall meetings that their focus was shifting to really beef up that tag team division before everything went on hiatus. So I really, really want to see that pick back up. We talk about the War Kings, and there's a number of great tag teams out there that could come in and really define the NWA tag team division. So I'm super amped about that.
That was one of the things I never got when people were, and I know a lot of people thought this, so I'm not acting like you're an idiot if you did, but a lot of people got worried when you saw people like Eli Drake, aka LA Knight, go off, or just different people, Eddie Kingston going to AEW, that sort of thing. And yeah, it stinks. You want to see those people still be able to be on NWA Power, and you don't know what the future holds, for one. But the other thing is like, I don't know if you guys follow the same Twitter as I do, but there are so many talented people out there. The indies are full of wrestlers ready and willing for somebody to give them their break and make a name for themselves. And man, my God, I think that there's going to be people chomping at the bit to get themselves in GPB studios. I'm excited to see who shows up. I think if anything right now, it kind of makes it a little more exciting because you don't know. Yeah. You have no idea. There's not the regular crew. I mean, there's some of them. You'll get your friendly faces, but man, there's just, you never know who's going to walk through that curtain. And that's part of the anticipation on Power that I've always loved.
And I think we've seen enough to know that the NWA is not going to shy away from having relationships with other promotions. So James Lawrence mentioned one of my favorite tag teams, the Briscoes, and they were in the Crockett Cup. There's no reason why we shouldn't see the Briscoes in the NWA. There's no reason. It's all good, guys.
Oh, good. Okay,
there's no reason why you can't see, say, like Willie Bowen puts out MLWs, the Von Erich boys. There's no reason they can't show up. There's no reason the Bodega can't show up. This is one of the most vibrant times in tag team wrestling history, bruh.
I saw Papa Esco retweeting some NWA stuff earlier today. I don't know if that's a clue, but if it is, bring them. Bring Danny Limelight.
You got Danny Limelight, who reminds me a lot of Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks was the champ's #1 draft pick. There's no reason he couldn't slide easily right into that tag team title picture. And of course, you got what I would love to see. And again, I'm just fantasy booking here. But what about the reinstitution of the Strictly Business cartel, the syndicate, Strictly Business, with Camille, Nick Aldis, Tom Latimer, and my boy Doug Williams.
Williams.
Yeah. That now. Boom. You can't write a story like that.
I know it's been a while since y'all heard me say this name, but I just saw it in the chat. And I just want to make it publicly known again how big I will pop if I ever see Joe Hennig, formerly known as Curtis Axel, in an NWA ring, much less him going one-on-one with the champ Nick Aldis. You want to talk about worthy opponents? You talk about a guy like Joe Hennig who, for lack of a better way to put it, was squandered for years in the big company up north. And I'm ready to see what he can do because I think he's capable of so much more. And for him to be part of NWA would be a dream for me. So just know how excited I'm going to be if that guy shows up on any of these episodes.
Yeah, Todd Kenley bringing up in the chat, Papo wants Murdoch. I forgot all about that, and I don't know how I forgot that, but those two had like a Twitter beef going on. So that's another matchup right there. Papo Esco and Trevor Murdoch. That's a hoss battle. So that'll be something else. I would definitely pay to see that one. We didn't hit on the women too much, but I've seen names popping up all over here. We got, for men, we got Rob Terry, you got Watts. Oh, he would be awesome. Genocide's popping up in here. The Dawsons is who I think you mean there. And I see Effie, the Von Erichs, and let's see, and Dave Scooby even mentioned in the Koloff dynasty in there. They were on Circle Squared. So there were teams there. The Koloff dynasty, they took on Hawks Airy. I think that was right. And that was a good team. Father and son duo there. So lots of people out there. Any of those folks off that initial Circle Squared stuff would be good. I mean, if you can get back there, I don't know if she's signed full time or not, but like the Real Mean Girl, Danny Jordan, or any of those. Freya the Slayer was over there. Just like a lot of cool people. It'd be fun to see again on our TV screens.
I think any of those female talents too that are in AEW, that doesn't concern me much. I mean, again, our Serena Deeb, our champion right now, is AEW contract, and she's going to be on Power, guys. It's going to happen.
What about that, Rob? Like, who do you think? I mean, you figure she's coming in to defend that title. Who's your is Thunder? I mean, do I even have to ask who your number one?
Obviously, Thunder Rosa would be the obvious choice. But again, women's wrestling, we live in the greatest time for women's wrestling ever right now. I mean, we live in it. We've never seen, and I'm not. This is not taking away anything from your Fabulous Moolahs or your Mildred Burks or any of those. But it's like we said before. Women's wrestling in those days was a sideshow. It was a curiosity piece. Now these women are athletes that on their own merit bring a great amount of legitimate talent. And I think of Camille. I see my man Sandoval mentioned Kenzie Page, the prodigy. I just saw Kenzie Page last Saturday night. She is the real deal, man. I love Kenzie Page. She's going to be of course, Thunder Rosa is one of the greats ever. What about Allison Kay? What about Marty Bell? What about Tasha Steeles? What about Melina? ODB. You got all these women out there, and then you got Savannah Evans. I mean, you've got guys. I'm telling you, the NWA Women's Division is going to pick up right where it left off, and I just cannot wait. I'm going to tell you personally, the one who I can't wait to see, just because and this is just a shout out to my boy Gary here. I love this interview so much. I cannot wait to see Marty Bell, man. I cannot wait to see her.
Oh, yeah. Miss Marty. She's a sweetheart. I mean, sometimes she was very mean in the ring, but
misunderstood, bro.
Misunderstood, yeah. There's no
she would be good. We haven't even touched on people like the Rock and Roll Express or Matt Cross, just other people we started just, like Matt Cross was just starting to pick up, just starting to shine in the NWA. I was happy to have him there. It'd be good to see him come back. I wonder who's going to return, and there's people we can count on, but there's and then like I said, who walks through that curtain, you just never know. Anything else you guys wanted to add before we wrap this show up? We've kept these people an hour, and it's been a pleasure having everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, all of it. That's awesome. But fellas, did you have anything you wanted to throw out there to these guys?
Well, I'll just go ahead and update. I did create a promo code it's just for the rest of this week. So it'll be active until Friday. But if you go to our shop and you use promo code NWA on Fight, you get 25% off. So celebrate, go get yourself a brand new piece of NWA fam or TIPW merch. And let's celebrate this momentous occasion, because it is a happy day for one and all NWA fam.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget legacysups.com. Check out some of the champs stuff he's putting out over there. Just nickaldis.com, I think, is where you can go get those customized programs. It's time. Everybody's getting amped up. You got the energy. You feeling it. You want to get jacked like the real world's heavyweight champion. This is how
at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
I just want to say, man, that guys, I love the NWA. I love this great sport. I love you guys. We all love you guys. And we need to really rally around this company, get this thing. Let's take over the world of pro wrestling, guys, for the NWA. And when I say, for those of you who doubted, we forgive you. I mean that. Man, it's been a tough year in a lot of respects. We're not here to hold any grudges or to say we told you so, this and that. That's beside us. If you want to vindicate yourself or what's the word I'm looking for? If you want to make indulgence for your transgression, just come and support this great promotion. Come and support the men and women of the National Wrestling Alliance. Support all the NWA fam. And I'm talking about the Nation Show. I'm talking about, things like Ryan Romano's Facebook page. I'm talking about, obviously Jay Cal and the Alliance blog. I'm talking about Ringside Rant. Come join our Discord. Let's keep the conversation going. Right before the pandemic, I'm going to tell you, and it's not just because I'll say it a million times. I'm just a fan, guys. I tune in because it makes me remember my youth. It makes me believe. It inspires me. It enriches my life. It enriches my family's life. come out and let's take over the world, man. I mean, this is the greatest, coolest thing that's going on. I cannot wait to see what's about to happen. And we love you guys. We thank you for being steadfast, for never losing faith, for being here, especially those of you who have been in our chat every week, twice a week. We have claimed 6, 7, sometimes 8, 9, 10 hours of your time a week, guys, just preaching the faith of the NWA and the importance of what this project is and what it means to the greatest sport of all time, what it means to our culture, what it means to performance art. I give you guys a round of applause. I applaud the NWA for what it's done for us in the past and what it's going to do. And this is going to be a great ride. We're back, fellas. We are back, and I am pumped. And I'm about to get me some of that, what'd you call it, that 2 a.m. stuff?
Yeah, the X-Lean.
Yeah, I'm going to get that because I do not want to sleep, man. I don't want to wake up and realize I've been dreaming.
Oh, James Lawrence, thank you for saying it's your favorite podcast. We appreciate you, brother. Yeah, please use that code NWA on Fight, 25% off over at nwafm.com/shop. Did I do that right? Yes. And let's see here. And Screen Monkey, I see you there. Just wanted to mention one last thing too. Can SWE get its own channel on Discord? If you're on our Discord, there is now an SWE channel there. So just for anybody who's not already a part of our Discord, you just go to our Twitter, and the very top pinned tweet is a link right to the Discord. You can check it out there. And we are grateful for every single one of you for showing up here. Everybody who kept faith alive. It's back, baby. Fight TV, NWA, March 21st. You know we're going to be here. You know we're going to be here waiting on y'all, and we're going to watch some NWA, and we're going to get wild. That's what we're going to do. You. My wife hates
it. It's going to get funky like a monkey, baby.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be awesome, man.
Am I supposed to have a catchphrase? You guys didn't tell me. I didn't come prepared with one.
Sorry, I don't know. I mean, you missed the boat, I guess. But Into the Fire, baby. Into the Fire is back. I cannot wait for the next episode of NWA Power when that music hits. It is going to be awesome. But first, we got to get through NWA's oh, yeah, there it is. Back for the Attack on March 21st. And we're going to see you before then, obviously. And we're going to talk about more NWA before then. But that's Will. At This Is Will Martin there. You see him. At This Is Dr. Stinson there. At This Is Gary Horde is me. And at TIPW Show on all the social medias. You can find us. We're there. Same name everywhere. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the YouTube. We need to get those numbers up so we can maybe we can make some money too. But anyway, thank you guys. We love you. And until next